said the grand plan made her do it, huh? Jeez, kinda preachy. Keep it in the monastery, lady.
Lara, you owe me a sparring session. Get your gloves and warm up.
What? Again? I don't suppose you'd accept a doctor's oath from Val.
Come on. I already promised I won't throw elbows this time. Where's your fighting spirit?
Must have had it knocked clean out of me. In fact, why don't I go look for it now?
Ain't gonna climb the corporate ladder with that attitude. You could just learn to duck, you know.
Got Inez moved into Helen's old quarters. I figure, if anyone's unlikely to be vexed by finding fossilized purpleberry crunch in their mattress, it's an Auntie's Choice trooper. You think Helen would approve of us taking on a product pusher? Yeah, suppose you're right. They'd have matched wits well enough. Found it, huh? No. You know what? This one's on me. Shouldn't have left it lying about. Something like that. Truth is, I was getting ready to toss that old thing. Guess I just wanted to listen to it one last time. See if I missed anything other than her waxing about the greater good. I don't know. Some hint of who she really was? Some sign that she could turn into someone who'd betray her own team? Sounds stupid said out loud. You know, I can't really remember what the others sounded like. Helen, Eric, Wade. I've tried recalling their voices, but there's just nothing. Static. All these years. And the only recording I've managed to preserve is from the one person I'd rather forget. Kind of you to say, Commander. I hope it continues to be true. No, burn it, launch it out the airlock, do whatever you want with it. It means nothing to me now anyway. Oh yeah? What's needling you? Shit. Knew I was forgetting something. Of course she did. I had some trouble adjusting in the years after Horizon Point. I was in pain more times than I wasn't. Had trouble sleeping. The drinks helped. Until they didn't. Those bottles ain't half full, are they? I appreciate the concern, Commander, really, but there's no problem. You have my word. I'm good. Val tell you the same. Besides, I found other ways to cope. Healthier ones. Most things worth doing ain't. When I'm not out there heroically saving the colony, I like to tinker around the ship or work on Val. I exercise. Been considering taking up cross-stitch. What do you think? Just remember you said that the next time I'm puttering around at odd hours making a racket. And thanks. Was there anything else you needed, Commander? Fair point. Guess Horizon Point didn't exactly foster a lasting fellowship, did it? All jesting aside, what's there to tell? Spent the first year getting back up on my feet, literally. Been mostly laying low since then, maintaining my cover. Before the invasion, at least, the Earth Directorate still needed someone to watch the colony, and I had 2 working lamps. Not always. Went a couple of stretches there on low power to avoid detection from Protectorate patrols. I usually shut it down for a few cycles then. The way you're gawping at me right now makes me think I answered that question wrong. I appreciate the concern. Won't lie, had some hard years. Got caught up in a few lost causes, the particulars of which I'd rather not go into now, if it's all the same. I found you. Oh, and Val's been stalling less since I patched her acclimator. Ship doesn't smell anymore. That's about it. Bratwurst. I was trying to teach myself some new skills in the galley. Val got it into her hardware. I needed a hobby. I figured Spratwurst ain't an easy meal to mess up. Well, I learned about 20 ways how not to fix a worst. Like most colonies, good people being ground down from above. A lot of fancy talk from suits about streamlining and quarterly earnings while them on the line barely scrape by. Triangulum's known for churning out freighters, and shipbuilding ain't exactly known for being clean, safe work neither. Especially when corners get cut. Can't remember a time I didn't end the day all banged up, filthy, and smelling like I just crawled out of an exhaust port. You never forget your first time manually flushing a propulsion tank, do you? Funny thing was, I wasn't even an engineer back then. But I wanted to learn, so I paid attention. Too good of attention, as it turned out. I was working late one evening and overheard something I shouldn't have. Some bigwigs exchanging inside information that would have cost the corporation a pretty bit. A day later, I was being accused of corporate espionage. Didn't want to bring any heat down on anyone else, so I went on the run before the first jackboot showed up at my door. Oh, now, you'll have to tell me what those other things are sometime. I was on the run for... oh, I don't even know how long. The days sort of bled into one another. I started losing hope of things ever changing for the better. Then, the Earth Directorate showed up. They liberated Triangulum, pulling me and the rest of the colony out from under the corporate boot. Joining up after that, just made sense. She was one of the forward agents who went ahead to assess just how bad Triangulum had gotten. We met while I was in hiding, and I helped her learn the lay of the land, as it were. She was no nonsense. I thought her one of the smartest people I'd ever met. And while she could also be cutting, I felt like I only caught her edge when I deserved it. I liked her. And for some reason, she seemed to take a shine to me. But she wasn't around long. By the time I officially joined up, she'd already moved on to the next mission. Sure was. Kept hoping I might run into her during training. But now I know she was busy turning her coat here in Arcadia. I could ask you the same thing. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if I'd gone back to my old life instead of becoming an agent. Stayed on Triangulum, become an engineer or something near to it. I knew joining up with the Earth Directorate wasn't going to be a life of low turbulence, but at least it'd have dignity and purpose to it. Not much dignity in having your limbs blown off. Sorry, that was blunt. But back to your initial question, do I regret becoming an agent? Yeah, some days. But then there's days like the one when I found you, and... well, not much to regret there. Only thing I know for sure is my opinion today is colored by more than just the rosy tint of a low-run kid looking up at the stars. Life's not fair, but it keeps on. You buttering me up for a favor? I'll tell you right now, I'm not taking extra shifts cleaning the head. Ah, well then, thanks. Just hope that good opinion of me holds. My folks shuffled off the motor coil when I was little. Assembly line accident. Got passed between some distant relations for a few years. They tried their best. Weren't cruel or nothing, but life on Triangulum was... tough. And they had their own families to worry about, you know? I didn't like feeling like I was adding to their burden, so I struck out on my own, just as soon as I could. And well, you know how that turned out. Yeah. Thoughts crossed my mind over the years, especially when it was just me and Val. I wish I spent more time with her when I had the chance. No point missing something you're never getting back, though. That's either hope or foolishness, Commander, and I can't tell which. Even if we survive the rift, 10 years is a long time to be gone. No word. They probably figure I'm dead. But void it all. Now you got me thinking about it. How about this? We ever make it out of this system, I'll take you back to Triangulum, make the introductions myself. Deal? Oh yeah. They're gonna get a real charge out of you. I've got time.
Oh, my system still ain't gotten the memo we're clear of the relay. I'm itching to keep running. We're damn lucky we got out in time, Commander. Real glad you found a way to mitigate the destruction. Without the relay looming over all, maybe the island can finally recover. Lon knows it's seen enough as it is. Sounds like your old pal DeVries was in deep with the Order. Now, I don't know a whole lot about them, but I don't reckon fanatical is part of their employee code of conduct. And as you've seen, that kind of loyalty can pose a real problem to everyone else. But we'll track her down before it comes to a head. Don't you worry. Fine by me. How personal are we talking? Couldn't say. I was in it all of 2 days before my graft started festering. Before that, I was an infantry medic. Our platoon was one of the first to touch down in Arcadia. I would have continued serving on the front line in an upgraded capacity, but, well, once the state of my graft became apparent, it was decided that parting ways would be best. My commanding officer, and the surgeon who performed the operation, I imagine. I wasn't lucid at the time. When I regained consciousness, I saw that my service pistol was gone, and a termination notice was in its place. I put 2 and 2 together. Law, that was a bad morning. Look, I knew dismissal was a possibility when I volunteered for the procedure. A successful graft is a boon, a failed one is a colossal liability. I'm a walking lesson in breakage. That's a nice sentiment. Did you pull it directly from a children's serial? Sorry. It's just increasingly clear you've not had many dealings with the corporation or its leaders. This is the way of things in Auntie's Choice. If you can't prove your worth, you're left behind. And that's why I'm here, trying to play catch-up. I miss my platoon. Most of the time. I hope they're holding on okay wherever they are. Huh. If nothing else, they'll have Ortiz to keep up morale. I know the non-stop jokes from that bastard sustained me for weeks. Yeah, he's tough. He'll be all right. Of course I do. Can't help but wonder if I'm missed in return. Anyhow, I would rather return to the matter at hand. No use dwelling on those out of sight and out of mind. Right. If this new graft fails, you mean? Then I keep pushing forward till I can't anymore. You didn't see me when I first got out of surgery and came to Paradise Island. The fact that you and I met at all is a testament to Doc's skill. But suppose if her treatment doesn't stick, then maybe it's my time to go. You can only cheat death so many times. You know that as well as I do. I owe Doc more than I could say. She helped me without even asking for payment or a favor up front. I never would have thought folk like her existed out here. She reminds me of the folk I had back home in Tauceti. Generous despite everything. The thought gave me comfort when I first sat in her chair, barely able to walk without help. I'd rather not dwell on those moments, if it's all the same to you. What matters is the here and now. Fine by me. Oh, come on. It's just a hobby. An obvious one at that. I picked up drawing from the grandpa in the domicile next door back in Tauceti. When I was a kid, he told me the best way to appreciate nature was to create some of your own and carry it with you. The notion's taken on a bit of a different meaning now with Auntie, but I reckon that grandpa has the right of it. Want to know a secret? So do I. Don't get me wrong, they've done a lot of good. Modern medicine sure beats slathering plant matter on your wound. But there's something to be said for partnering with nature, not fighting for dominion over it. Vincent. He used to draw posters and ads for Spacer's Choice. He had style. Of course, that didn't last. Age caught up and his hands started failing him. Couldn't draw, couldn't lift heavy objects, could hardly walk without exerting himself. And in Tauceti, if you couldn't work, you didn't get ration cards. We shared what we could with him, of course, but What we got already wasn't much. Last day I saw him, he refused the half Saltuna can I tried to give him. Said it was him lending me his strength. He was gone the next day. We searched all over, then realized he must have wandered off into the wilderness, not wanting to be a burden. We never found him. Can't hardly open a tin without thinking about him now. So if you're wondering why I still hold a candle for Auntie's choice, after everything, it's because I know had Auntie arrived just 4 months earlier, Vincent might still be alive. It's been years now since I talked about it. He was a good man. He deserved better. So did the rest of us. Anyhow, ain't meaning to talk your ear off. Fine by me. Like ain't the word I'd use, even before I was itching to tear up my contract and set it aflame. Auntie gave me autonomy, gave me the choice to do more than just struggle to survive. They treated me better than my last employers did, and despite recent events, I believe in their mission. We can give folk here in Arcadia a better life. What? Did you think I was born into it? How else do you grow a corporation to this size without doing outside recruiting? Take a look at what most systems offer, and what Auntie's Choice provides. Do the math. I'm just one of many who welcomed the chance to enlist with open arms. Of course, going from a life lived in squalor to one that rewards you on merit, it would send anyone's mind spinning. Now, do I got qualms with Auntie? Sure. But I'll tell you what, when she overthrew those Spacer's Choice bastards in Tau Ceti, my home system, that takeover was the best thing that ever happened to us, even if it took time to see it. But I reckon that's a tale for another day. That all you wanted to discuss, or... Fine by me? Not great. It was a mining colony under Spacer's Choice. Didn't have much, but my parents worked hard to ensure we had shelter and a warm meal every day. They're good folk. I love them. But I don't think they ever quite grasped how bad things were before Auntie's Choice came. They warned me not to join up, you know. Said we'd all get burned if we put too much stock in the promises of this foreign corporation. But I'd rather take a risk on them than be resigned to how things were. Our colony was isolated, which meant our Spacer's Choice overlords could do as they saw fit. Everyone lived in squalor, save for a select few. We were little more than workhorses. Those of us at the bottom only found joy with our families, our friends. But love alone can't get you through the toughest, darkest winters. I miss the sunsets, and my folks, though I know they're well taken care of nowadays. But that's about it. Most of my friends joined up when I did, so we took our community with us. Leaving my hometown itself, it was an eager farewell. No, not at all. But I ain't sure my folks oppose them now. They have good jobs and a roof that doesn't leak. The ones who didn't adjust, however, was our management. Some of them tried to cut a deal. Company secrets in exchange for an entry-level administrative role, and made it out okay. But most violently opposed the takeover, and that ain't hypothetical. Reckon a bullet in the gray matter was more palatable than being forced to the bottom rung. Says it all, really. Fine by me? Like I said, we were both in the same unit. Me as a combat medic, him as a machine gunner. Everyone in my unit was from Tau Ceti, so we already had that in common. And we served on the front lines, which made us look out for one another that much more. See, most of us were laborers, and we just got our first real shot at something greater. We wanted to make a name for ourselves, and what better way to do that than become a hero? Our onboarders promised that if we demonstrated exceptionalism, showed initiative, that we'd get promoted quick. And our days of living in squalor would be far behind us. We spent a week crouched in the same foxhole under aerial bombardment. Shared water one sip at a time by the end of it. Anyone would have been friends after that. I don't know if I would have made it out alive without him. Maybe I'll tell him that over a beer one day. Praise him in front of the whole saloon. Law knows he's got a thing for heroics. Better than I'd feared. Only had to bury 2 troopers and amputate 5 limbs. I'm thankful every day that the Protectorate can't aim for shit. He kept me clear-headed. Every so often there'd be a lull in the bombardments and I'd hear voices all across the field, calling out for aid, for Mama, for death. Almost got my head clean taken off when I tried to scramble out of the foxhole the first night. I heard a call for help and moved on instinct. Damn foolish of me, really. Ortiz told me not to panic, to wait till he could provide cover, to just shout first aid instructions where I could. It was too valuable to fall in battle, he said. It was a rough few nights at first, knowing I couldn't help folk who needed it. And the reward for that torment was my life. I appreciate that, Commander. In any case, I'm only standing here because of a damn fine soldier who became my friend. I'll carry that knowledge always. Fine by me? Yeah, figured you might. I want to say up front that I got nothing against you or your crew. Ain't one to judge the firearm by its plating. And so far, you ain't given me reason to doubt your character. But the Earth Directorate itself, it's got much to answer for. The Earth Directorate swore a promise to every colony out there. That if you plead for help, help will come. Maybe not immediately, but you know, maybe sometime this decade. But that's all a heap of shit. You know how many of us in Tau Ceti tried to send messages? And when that didn't work, how we begged the stars for the Earth Directorate to save us? They never responded. Never showed up. Not when I was a child, certainly not by the time Auntie's Choice came around. You ask me, you're selling folk a lie. I know that. I see you doing all you can to help folk. Look, I ain't holding you to account for the Earth Directorate's ills. No more than anyone would hold me to those of Auntie's Choice. We're our own people. No matter how often I'm hit in the face with that fact, with you, with Ethel, it's rather easy to forget at times. But talking through this reminds me. And I appreciate it, Commander. Nor do I.
awaiting orders. How may this unit assist you, Commander? This unit is available to answer any queries.
Didn't realize we were landing so close to the action.
We got bases down there. If one of them got hit, then that strike will be the first of many.
Your patience is commendable, passenger. Please continue waiting quietly until the next tram arrives. This is your 2061st reminder to keep all personal... Thank you for picking up your personal belongings. We must all work together to keep Golden Ridge beautiful.
This station must have really been something before the war made its home here. If things escalate, it might never be something again.
Attention, passengers. You are late 21,027 hours late for your tram. Please be mindful of your departure in the future. Grand Plan Wireless, broadcasting soothing tunes for your audio canal and enriching content for your cerebral cortex around the chronometer until we achieve ascension. The office of the Constituents and Upgrading has posted the following for venturesome pursuers of justice and fortune. A bounty for the lives of Edward and Morton Dunsany, brothers Apparatus, most known to be operating out of the Florida Protectorate compound in the Guardian Estates. A bounty for the life of Janet Dunsany, notorious bushwhacker. The spread, illnesses, and eventual control of the purple-berry parasite. OA on high transmission number 3900-4. Young Lord, my name is Cindy Rothschild, Junior Alchemist Class 4 of Delta. Today I would like to talk about the irresponsible spread of the purple-berry parasite by until basic preventative measures were put in place after illness-related costs exceeded corporate profits. The purple-berry parasite infects nearly 100% of all The plan can wait. Our lines will know. Good subjects arrive 15 minutes early to avoid missing their tram.
Folk were hunkered down here. Wonder how long they held out before. Well, best not to think about it.
206. Morale? Low. Condition? Feeble. Voucher mech. Watching. Always watching. Many have left for Matriarch's mercy, seeking refuge with the Order. The fools. Can't they see the Order is no different from the Protectorate? The Order won't...
Incessant muttering to oneself may disturb fellow passengers. Further conduct violations may warrant notification of the Sentinels.
Try it, you doddering rattletrap! Such threats compel me no longer. I now answer to no one. I've seen through the lies of both sides. In time, everyone will.
Unwarranted optimism may be a sign of a more serious imbalance. Please see a curativist before boarding.
Lest you're bent on exploring, best we hoof it over to Matriarch's Mercy and meet with that Abbott Bassar mentioned.
Stifled by unfulfilling work with no hope of advancement. Fighting off your fellow workers. Want data-driven insight on how to excel at your life? Visit our predictory and take our short 38-minute questionnaire to determine exactly what career you are meant for. Act now and receive a one-week prognostication from a season. Absolutely free. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Please, somebody help us! Anybody, please! Finally, some help. We desperately need aid. Desperately. My family and I, we was making our way to the Mercy camp for us refugees. We were set upon. My wife, my son were injured. Can't move them by myself. I had to leave them just past this tunnel so as I could go for help. But being alone is even more riskier. The Varachnids, I chased them off, but they'll be back. Please help us. Ain't nothing I can do for them, but you got weapon and medicines and can get us to the camp. Please. Thank you. Thank you. This way. This way.
Let me know when you need a distraction.
Got twitchy feet.
Nobody around.
Tree hole in the head. Come at me.
Think they'll notice if we jump the queue?
Another refugee? All right, just a moment. Allowing anyone into Matriarch's Mercy unprocessed will upset the precarious ratio of refugees to aid. We should have an opportunity for placement in approximately 7.85 days, presuming no unforeseen alterations. Oh, in that case, step right through.
I remember this place before the war. Functioning tramiculars. Peaceful silence in the canyons.
I can't recall the last time this region was silent.
Oh, try not to get too close. My sinuses are stuffed up, my ears are backed up, and my guts are gurgling. I could burst at any moment. Every fluid from every orifice. So keep your distance. Oh, you want me to keep sickness to myself? Is that it? Well, I refuse to give in to shame and fear. I've gotten sick at least a dozen times since we set up camp. Why, last week alone, I caught hack lung, sprat tongue, skinny teeth, and a rare case of mortified skull emergence. Figured I might as well get used to being sick. So, I'm practicing for my next disease. It's gonna be a nasty one. I think it's downright awful what's happened to these fine folks. But me especially. Sickness, malnutrition, spontaneous genetic disorders, it never ends. You too. Trust me, you don't want to catch this. Neither do I, for that matter.
How long are we meant to stay here?
Ask the Order. I'm not in the prediction business.
If we factor for random elements offsetting certain key variables, upsetting the mock apple cart, as it were, we start to grasp the potential range. And then we solve for the... apologies. Just catching up on a research assignment between queries. Yes? Did you need something? Distraction and I are old colleagues at this point. My part in these shared circumstances is admittedly somewhat unique. The abbot felt a scientician operating in a conspicuous spot in the thoroughfare might be useful. An illustrative way for our guests to see how we operate, to show how the Crabble patties are made, as it were. That is, if the meat preparation involved a 90-step rate formula and a conflux of polynomial equations. I am also on hand to answer queries by providing data supporting our actions. Though perhaps due to my central location, 89.74% of the time, I am simply asked for directions. Given our present circumstances, most of my data revolves around existential threats vis-a-vis the displaced. According to data, life inside shows a notable uptick in key relevant quality of life factors: longevity, access to medicine, potable water. Life outside sees increased risk of starvation, inclement weather, and hostile xenofauna. Yes, indeed. Numbers are really against you out there. By quite a healthy statistical margin, yes. We nurture the body while we minister to the mind. We organize, we adapt. We have diverted internal resources to better meet demand in key areas. And I'm pleased to say that's led to a statistically significant 2.7% increase in refugee satisfaction. But if my data remains unconvincing, I suggest you inquire with Provisioner Plotnik inside the lift building. Simply tell her Archivist Widmark approves brief use of her time. Then back to it I shall get.
I swear, it's nigh on impossible to find decent animal remains in these parts.
Thus, if we compare the rates of dust accumulation...
My soup is nutritionally calculated to sustain all bodily functions, but it could use a little salt.
How long are we meant to stay here?
Ask the Order. I'm not in the prediction business.
Broke my nose last scrap.
Or, I guess Raleigh Dortmunder did, huh?
I still don't get... Ow. I banged him up real good for you, didn't I? I won you one, right? Matters settled.
The void you did. Barely connected. You're thinking of 2-3 scraps ago. You've been mostly unconscious a while now. You ought to talk to Boss Tilda. She's the brains in this... What does she call it? Oh, yeah. Quasi-illicit shenanigan.
Doesn't like to look at us when we're all banged up. Said my face turned her off Borsloaf.
Anyhow, head down the hill along the fence. Tell her Mapother and Mudge sent you.
Word to wise, don't accept anything here that's given for free. You'll pay, one way or another. Commander, you got a minute to talk? I got some thoughts on this situation with the refugees. The number of folks seeking refuge from the war is, well, it's beyond what I expected. And beyond what the Order is capable of handling, seems like. Andes may not be faring much better here, but we could at least find enough work for these folk to buy some food.